Today I'm going to be talking about C17 alpha alkylation of anabolics. C17 alpha alkylation is used primarily to prevent anabolics from being destroyed by the liver. Many important anabolics differ from just a C17 alpha alkylated configuration from many other steroids. Similar to this is boldenone, which I believe is related to Dynabol in with or without his C17 alpha alkylation. The problem, of course, with C17 alpha alkylation is liver stress. This has always been a problem, but most pro-steroids, pro-hormones, or whatever you want to call the designer steroid pro-market, is now saturated with C17 alpha alkylated products like Superdrol in its now dozen forms. C17 alpha alkylation does have its benefits, however. Most notably, most steroids that have C17 alpha alkylation are that much more potent. Some instances are Anadrol, which is supposed at 30-pound gains of muscle in 1 month, and many others like Dynabol. Of course, there are some more light C17 alpha alkylated steroids like Winstrol, but even these are, of course, C17 alpha alkylated and thus put stress on the liver. The primary difference is dosage, which among steroids can be very different. Such is the case like with Anadrol. Why it tends to put so much more liver stress than normal is because it is usually used at much higher doses, 50 milligrams or up to 100 milligrams, compared to, let's say, 25 milligrams of Dynabol and or 5 to 25 at least of Winstrol. Also not known to most is that most C17 alpha alkylated, even though they are in the oral forms normally, can also be injectable forms. This is seen with Dynabol and Winstrol, Dynabol more rarely. There are many things about C17 alpha alkylation which are interesting. Of course, one of the first C17 alpha alkylated steroids was Methyltest. Methyltest did not gain a good reputation. Also seen with most C17 alpha alkylated is use of short periods because, of course, of the aforementioned liver stress. But some of the C17 alpha alkylated steroids are some of the most potent. Similar to this is M1T, methyl 1-testosterone, formerly sold by Legal Gear. This was a remarkable steroid in promoting tremendous strength gains at only 5 to 10 milligrams a day. This is just one example of an extremely strong anabolic steroid sold on the pro-hormone market. C17 alpha alkylation also is unique in the way that it imparts certain properties to steroids. Oftentimes, your kidney cannot get rid of steroids quite as easily with C17 alpha alkylation. This oftentimes makes a weak steroid quite strong when added C17 alpha alkylation. These are just some of the facts of C17 alpha. C17 alpha alkylation. There are many other things that are interesting about C17 alpha alkylated steroids. One of the most interesting is, as seen with Dynabol at least, is the relatively, how would you say, quick onset. Because they're oral, they tend to leave the body, or at least act on the body within hours, thus giving, in some cases, incredible increase in aggression, tremendous water gain, and many other useful properties. Because with water gain, as muscle is up to 80% water, comes tremendous strength gains. Of course, this is risky, as tendon and connective tissue stress is imminent. Well, that's part one of C17 alpha alkylated anabolics.